and they're just very portable and they do taste good.
They're not as good as peanut butter biscuits.
Yeah, so is this your own homemade, is it?
No, yours, you sounded like the peanut butter.
Oh,
So
the,
like
they've got the peanut butter, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The peanut nutty bliss, yeah. So, there's a few other different options as well for your protein there. So what you need, guys, for working out if you need carbohydrate, there's a whole range of ways you can do it. And geez, I had in my Ironman research when I was doing my master's work, someone had in the cycle, wrapped up in their cycle jersey in tin foil, a baked potato.
Oh.
And some had peanut butter and jam sandwiches, and that's just what they liked, you know. And an Ironman, so long as it's a 180k bike, it's a long bike. Yeah. That's from here to Christchurch, and then a bit further. How far is it? It's about it's not even 100. Well, it'd be over 100k, isn't it? Yeah.
Probably should congratulate my brother a bit more.
We're getting on, yeah. So it's a long way. Now, drink, of course, sports bar, gels. You heard of gels?
Yeah. I've heard of them, but I don't know anything about them.
Yeah. They're useful. I'm not a huge fan because
Don't taste too good.
well, they're a concentrated shot. Here's the analogy I use: is imagine you've got a shotgun, and by the way, I'm not about to do anything crazy. Just this analogy, okay? And in the cartridge, you're loading it with glucose, and you're taking it and you're just aiming it at your gut, and you're blasting it. It's a very concentrated shot of glucose that comes in. Now, if you need glucose, does anyone here know that feeling where you're struggling and you're kind of like you've either hit the wall or you're about to, and you're very fatigued and you're a bit mentally going, off the chart? Then some glucose and a shot of glucose is perfect, and that in your back pocket is gold, literally. But at other times it may be detrimental. In fact, there's stories of athletes who have had too many gels without enough fluid, and it's lined their stomach, and they've become severely dehydrated. So I'm so with gels because I think you're better off not to just give for a lack of a better analogy, your gut a shotgun blast every whatever half an hour. You're better just to have something that just trickles glucose in more from your sports drink, and maybe from a banana or a sports bar. That's serious muesli bar. There's a whole range of things.
So when you're talking sports drink, are you talking, like Bridget was saying before, are we talking like the normal Powerades and stuff you buy from the supermarket, or?
Let's have a look at this. Here it is here. Okay. This is it's in here, guys. Yeah, by the way, at the back of your book, there's a whole lot of more detailed information as well about different supplement options for exercise and for recovery. In terms of, it's not exhaustive, but it gives you the breakdown of all the different, all the numbers, all the amounts and sugars and electrolytes and so forth. So you can, if any of you are like numbers and you want to dive in and start, having a good look, you can see them there. But this is in your book. Oh, it's actually, sorry, I think it's back.
No, it's in the back.
That one. This table is actually back further in part 1. It's actually on page 14. So you just have to go back there. Yeah, I just slotted this in slightly different in those slides.
Okay.
And by the way, this does need a bit of an update. I've added one in here, Hammer Nutrition. This is what I actually use by Heed. It's a Heed by Hammer Nutrition. There's a whole host of options out there. So I don't know, what have you guys used anything from here?
Powerade.
Powerade, yeah.
Where do you get your Hammer Nutrition Heed?
The Heed is, that one is, you probably need to get it online, Marissa, unfortunately. Yeah, well, I get it from, I'm actually sponsored by a bike shop by Specialised up in Christchurch on Morehouse Ave, but obviously that's no use to you. So here...
Do you like going to Christchurch?
Yeah.
I think online is, you can get it, it works out really well. They also have another great product called Perpetuum. Hammer Nutrition make it's both a carbohydrate and protein beverage. So that one is great for the longer distance events. Now without being too biased, by the way, I'm not a fan of Powerade. I know it sits at the top. That doesn't mean it's number one. In fact, if I was ranking them, I literally would put that right to the bottom. For these reasons, it's all sugar. There's no maltodextrin, and the electrolyte profile is poor. If you look at the amount of sodium and potassium, it really is low. So it doesn't really offer much more than a weak concentrated, electrolyte concentrated and sugary beverage. That's really what it is. Now you might say, well, hang on, the All Blacks use it. Well,
yeah, but they get paid to use it.
well, actually, here's the inside info. They don't. It looks like they are, but in the Powerade bottle is something else.
Yeah.
It's not great drink. But Coca-Cola is such a massive company that they can afford the throwing in millions in their marketing, of course, and sponsor all these events, and it gets the biggest traction. But it's not the best product by a long shot.
How do they think that they're a responsible blooming company?
They're not. That's the bottom line. They're just not a responsible company. Their bottom line is profit.
Yeah.
And despite that, they will always say, "Oh, but we're coming out with new versions that are friendlier for people." Even, guys, just a little bit on the sweetening side of it. Diet products. Okay.
They taste revolting.
Yeah, there's the taste aspect, but that something that's artificially sweetened can still be problematic because people still get addicted to the sweetness and they still want more sugary food. So there's evidence on that those who have diet soft drinks, whilst they're not getting the calories absorbed from the drink, they still seek out other sugary foods and they're still worse off.
I don't agree with that because I'm addicted to Diet Coke, but I don't go for it.
But you don't go for any other sugars, yeah. So there's always anomalies.
Hey?
Yeah, and there's always anomalies or exceptions. So, yeah. But what would be interesting, Marissa, for you is to actually, because here's the thing, is that you may not consider, and I don't mean this in any sort of critical way, but often the perception of what we're doing and what's actually going on can be a little different. So I don't know, why I say that is, so often you hear, even just the concept of, hey, how's the nutrition going? And it's not like I ask that all the time with people, by the way, but if it comes up in conversation, I don't go, hi, how's your nutrition? Just in case you're thinking, hang on, whoa, this guy's getting, well, but what can happen is that when one starts to, the perception is, hey, I'm doing really well, and then what's actually happening can be quite different. And this actually comes back to our tracking, doesn't it? So, but hey, you know what? That's a really good thing. Good thing that you're not consuming a lot of other sugars to compensate. But so we still need to work on the diet drinks, because now that said, actually, Hammer, hey, look at this. It's got stevia. It's an artificial sweetener, but in terms of the sweeteners out there, it's definitely the better of a bad bunch. It's got xylitol. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah, it's in chewing gum or something.
It is. You're right. Chewing gum is very, very common, and in a lot of different drinks. It's a sugar alcohol, so it's not absorbed. Gives you the sweetness, not absorbed, but it can cause stomach bloating and GI upset, stomach distension, and maybe a bit of nausea. So just be mindful of that. All these replaces not bad. If you're suffering from cramp, Endura rehydration formula, that's a good option. Lots of magnesium. And this one here, Endura Optimizer, that's also a good product that has some extra protein. That's what the lactalbumin is. That's a form of, it's a type of protein. Yeah. So that's just to give you an idea of different sports drinks. So of course, and then the other thing is caffeine. What about caffeine? We know that it's nice to have our coffee as a bit of a lift, but what about during? Has anyone found that that's helpful during their workouts? Anyone used that before? Well, it can be. Not suggesting, of course, that you all just start doing that, but if you're looking for, and by the way, this can be of benefit for short and long workouts. then, and you can see this here actually, and by the way, this study does include Coca-Cola, which I'm not suggesting that you use as a form of caffeine, but it can be effective. What we know is this, guys, if you have caffeine before or caffeine during and Coca-Cola, these all provide benefits, and you can see the performance improvements here. This is cycling exercise versus placebo, which is something that looks and tastes like a caffeinated beverage, but it's not. I've got this illustration here. This is a Rev 3 product. It's a USANA product. They've got cans. What I love the most is the sachet. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring one tonight. The sachet is great because I use it not that often, but when I really want to lift, I pour it into my drink bottle with sports drink, so you can add it to your sports drink. Gives you, so you've got the benefits of your glucose, your electrolytes, and a bit of caffeine. And there's fructose in there, but it's a small amount, about 2 grams. So what you can do with the Rev, the sachet, is you can actually have that in water, and you can really dilute it down. And it can just be something that you might choose to do as just something to give your water a bit more of a lift. And yourself, of course, just a little background. So it's not a sharp up, it's just a nice gentle background lift. So that's
But that's sort of just if you're doing a more endurance.
I would recommend that if you're longer events, or if you just want, if you just wanted to, perhaps you're not feeling great, you wanted a bit of a lift, or you've got a session, you're like, I've got a grit session, and I want to really give this a nudge. This could be something that might be in the mix to help you get a bit more out of that session potentially.
What do you think about the super pumps and the C4s and stuff like that?
So I'm not sure exactly